Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Wow, we've got a full room. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you've decided to join us for today's virtual webinar, which is titled Your Business Brand: How to Effectively Use Social Media to Increase Your Business. And let me tell you, friends, this is part one. Currecia Gamble has agreed to do a part two for us. So I know you're going to get great content out of this meeting. And I just want to take the time to thank you again, Currecia, for being willing to carve out time out of your busy day to do this presentation for you. I just want to do a little commercial for MBAC. Let me tell you, friends, MBAC is hot. We are rolling. We are bringing you awesome material and information. If you don't know, or if this is your first time experiencing us, please go to the website, which is cul.org/MBAC. I believe Kim just put it into the chat box there so that you can track that information, see what we're up to. We're posting videos, and we have our fantastic We Care blog, which is sharing relevant on-time information about what's happening in the small business world. And we are here to serve you. If you don't know what MBAC actually is specialized in, let me tell you a little bit about us. We focus on the small minority women and owned businesses in not only Franklin County, Columbus, but also in 18 counties throughout the region. We have a pretty wide footprint. We specialize in technical assistance. So those things that might be on your skill set, we can help you in managing and understanding those types of things. And that comes in the form of these types of webinars and education segments to help you gain in that knowledge. We also provide one-on-one counseling so that we can sit down and really kind of dive into what's going on in your business, whether have an idea and you're a startup, or you need to grow your business. Look to MBAC for the type of resources, information, and assistance that you need for that. We're also helping with packaging on certification, on the MBE and EDGE certification, which is the state certification process. So, I mean, we have a lot to offer, guys. I just want you to know that, as Kim is saying, MBAC has got your back. We're happy to have you here today. And I know you don't want to hear the sound of my voice, so let's talk about who's going to be presenting for you today. I have the privilege of introducing Ms. Currecia Gamble. She is the founder of Convey Social. Currecia has over 10 years of experience in customer service, marketing, public relations, and studied communications at the University of Cincinnati. Go Bearcats, right? Her passion is to help nonprofits and start-up companies find purpose, establish a brand, and build their influence through digital marketing efforts that turn their followers into loyal customers. Currecia has worked with brands including the National Urban League, LivSo Hair Care, Fashion Week in Columbus, Partners Achieving Community Transformation, Creative Control Fest, and TedX King Lincoln Bronzeville, and many others. She is your subject matter expert. Currecia is an active member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in Columbus, Ohio alumni chapter, the University of Cincinnati McMicken College of Arts and Sciences, Friends of Communication, and the Columbus Urban League Young Professionals. Currecia is a graduate of the African American Leadership Academy and Chase Gen Y Leadership Academy through the YWCA Columbus. She also has been recognized as one of the 52 young professionals to know in the city. Her community involvement includes serving as a mentor and empowering young people to be successful and supporting causes around marriage and family. Currecia is married to Patrick Gamble Jr., lucky guy, and enjoys eating, traveling, exploring great food and wine spots. We need to hook up.
Yes, yes.
Spending time with family and friends. So I'm just again delighted to introduce you to her. So before I turn it over to her, housekeeping. So while we're participating in this workshop, be prepared to take notes. She's going to drop some serious knowledge on you, and you want to make sure that you're capturing as much as you can. Know that we will publish this video on our website, which again is the cul.org/MBAC. Go to news and blogs, and you'll see the information listed there with today's date so that you can go back and if you need to refresh some of that information. Know that you can contact Currecia directly if you want to use her professional services. You can reach her by giving her a phone call or shooting a text out at 614-323-2508. She, of course, has LinkedIn and a Twitter handle, which I'll let her share all of those with you as she gets into the presentation. But most importantly, friends, let's make the most of this moment. Don't be shy. If you have a question, let's ask that. If you're familiar with the chat, go ahead and post it in your chat, and we'll keep up with the conversation and dialogue as we go through. So that's really all for me. I just want to sit back and start taking my own notes on how to make the most of social media. So Currecia, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Janine. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be here this morning. First off, just thank you to the MBAC team, Kim and Ms. Sharon and Janine, for just allowing me today to be able to come and share more about how to effectively use social media to increase your business. More than ever right now, it is so important, especially with the pandemic that unfortunately is happening, a lot of the cultural things that are occurring. You know, you definitely want to make sure that your business brand is aligned through everything, across your website, through your social media, as well as, you know, any of your media or press releases that you do in the future as well. So I am so happy to be here and to give you guys some tidbits. And also I have a little surprise. I have a couple surprises for you guys during this presentation. So definitely stay tuned. As Janine mentioned, you know, definitely make sure, even though I can't see you, definitely engage with me. Let me know what you're thinking while we're going through the presentation. Post your questions. Also post in the chat if you have some thoughts. You know, I definitely want to be here to help you succeed in social media. And so today, I want to talk about a little bit about the agenda. So what we'll cover for the day in this short amount of time that we have. So getting started with social media is very important. You may have already started a little bit with social media, but there may be some things that you're like, you know what, I need to change a little bit. So I want to show you how to definitely get on the right track as you continue on with with building your brand on social media, and then increasing your reach. I know a lot of people answered the question during your registration that, you know, followers is one of the things that you're having a challenge with. So let's take a deep dive into that today. So I want to talk about a little bit about how you can increase that through your content and through other ways. So stay tuned for that. And then some tools. I have some favorite tools that I love to use when I'm helping my clients to reach their audience. And so I definitely want to share those tools with you. And also, you know, later again, it's September 17th. I may have a couple more surprises for you. So, but today I will share a little bit about some of the tools that I use, and then next steps. And then of course, we'll have some Q&A as well. So if you guys are ready to get started, let's go. So just to begin a little bit, let's all connect. I mean, we can't just have a social media presentation without connecting, right? So I want everybody right now to get to the chat, and I want you to post your name and post your social media handles. I want everybody to start following each other. We're going to start this on the right track. So if everybody can please do that, and Janine and also Kim, if you guys can post MBAC's social media handles as well. But I definitely want everybody to start following each other. Make sure you have your cell phones out. Make sure you are plugged into Facebook, Instagram, Twitter right now. Make sure that you're following one another. I think it's very important right now that we all help each other and encourage each other as we continue to build our business. So I can't wait to start seeing people dropping their social media handles in there. I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully it's coming. I'm going to actually put mine in here too. Okay, I see Al. Hey, Frugal Freddy. I'm so happy to see you in here today. Hey, Daylin. Okay, peace of mind. I see that. I see some website addresses in here too. Good job. Definitely make sure that you're promoting your website address as well. If anybody's on Twitter, make sure that you put your Twitter address in there too. If you have Twitter, I see Al made sure he put that this was Frugal Freddy's on both Facebook and Instagram. Okay, I see some events and bartending. I need to connect with you. So I need to make sure I grab that. Hello, Michelle, good morning. And I see you put your Twitter account in there, definitely. I'm gonna just get a couple more minutes. I know we got some people in here that has social media, and you definitely want to get some increase in followers. And this is the perfect way to do it right now, is through this icebreaker. This is a key. If you are in any meeting and you have the opportunity to share your information, you do it, because this is free publicity for you. You don't have to pay for this. This is an opportunity for you to be able to share your resources. Make sure you share your website, make sure you share your handles. This is all great ways to be able to network with one another as well. So make sure you keep doing that throughout the day, throughout this workshop. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the next one. So how to start your business social media. It's very important to make sure that you know how to even kick off, how to even begin. I know it is it's a lot of social media channels that you have to work with. People get overwhelmed, and it's okay. You have to remember that you do not have to do all the social media channels at once. And I actually just drop down all of the social media channels that are here. Of course, we have our number one, which is still Facebook. Facebook is still the #1 social media channel and will probably be like that for a while, but Instagram is right behind it. Instagram is becoming big, especially now. Hopefully people start using those reels. Hopefully you've been starting to use that a little bit in your branding, but that's also big. TikTok is a really big one. A lot of people think that TikTok is only being able to be used with just your personal, but actually businesses are really succeeding in TikTok as well. And so you definitely want to make sure that that might be something you explore. But if you have a business that you have some type of product, or you have some type of opportunities for people, you do tutorials or workshops, YouTube. Make sure you have YouTube. MBAC actually has a YouTube channel that you definitely want to check out. They host all of their previous workshops on there. That is great for you to be able to go back in that library, take a look at what's some of the best practices to help your business succeed. But also you want to think about creating your own YouTube channel as well. You can be able to do YouTube Live. You can also do it simultaneously with your Facebook as well, using a different tool that will be able to help you to gain more additional reach as well. So keep in mind of that. But with using all these social media tools, some of the key points I do definitely want to point out with this is make sure you select 2 or 3 channels that you want to stick to. This is because you want to make sure that you have that quality over quantity. A lot of people try to immediately just go directly into going on all the social media channels, but then you have a hard time keeping up. You have to make sure you carve out time for content creation. You have to make sure you carve out time to be able to talk to your followers, which we'll talk about that a little bit in this presentation. But you want to make sure that with this, select 2 or 3 channels to post high quality rather than spreading yourself over more channels and posting low quality content. You want to make sure that what you're putting out there is a best representative of your brand. So I always go with these 3 things: connect, engage, and share. Because you also, although you're connecting with people through your content, you want to engage with them as well. You want to make sure that you're keeping that pulse on your audience, making sure that you are actually going to what they need and not what you need. And then also sharing. So you want to make sure that you're also sharing other posts, other best practices as well. And so those are some things that we'll be talking about today. But just keep in mind those 3 things: connect, engage, and share. So I know we want to get right down to it about increasing your reach. This is very important, especially right now with everyone using social media, especially those who are being at home right now. So I want to make sure that you are set up for success in increasing your reach. So as you know, content is king. Definitely. It will always be that because the content that you want to put on there, you want to make sure that it's good. I think went to go ahead of me. I apologize. Okay. I always use the 60-30-10 rule. So 60% of your posts should be of interest to your target audience and not sales oriented. So what that means is content that inspires conversation. You want to educate or entertain. You want to be able to connect with your audience. Make sure that it includes posts about questions so that it helps you to continue to build up that content. You want to also make sure that with that, it's connected to your target audience, making sure that you know that you're connecting to the right people that will end up wanting to purchase your product, right? So with that, you want to make sure that, for example, I do this a lot with some of my clients. I will tell them that we want to make sure when we put our content bucket together that we have a variety of content that is available across the board, right? So we don't want to always just keep selling. We want to make sure that we are providing them some valuable information about what we are wanting them to end up doing, which is that selling part, right? So you want to make sure that you are educating them if you have a certain product, that you're talking about kind of the backstory about it. Why is this product, why is this something that you sell? If it's a workshop that you do, and Al, I'm going to kind of use you because you do Frugal Freddy, and he's really great at being able to promote financial freedom. And so he educates about being able to, how good tips on how to be able to get to that financial freedom that you're looking for. He also does, and Al, I'm still using you, I apologize, so don't be mad at me, but Al also does these things where he does these pop-ups at different small businesses, where he's able to do kind of a pop-up situation where people go and be able to contribute to that business, right? So those are great ways to be able to educate about the resources that he has. So if he's ready to sell a product, he's already brought his audience in because he started already with making sure that they know that he's the expert in his area. That is the key thing that you want to make sure about. Then that 30%, your content should be shared for other resources, such as non-competing businesses, industry-specific resources, and even posts from members of your community. So you want to be able to be involved in that conversation, right? So you want to, if you have a partnership, or if you have a sister business that you admire on social media, then be able to share that information on your posts, as long as it fits within your content. Making sure that you actually go in there and make sure to be helpful with helping them reach their audience actually helps you reach your own audience as well. So this is very key in making sure that you do this. But then that 10%, let's talk about that 10%. What you post should be sales oriented. So this is where that sales part comes in. This will help get people into the buying mode. This will help people get into buying mode and not pushing them to always see you just talk about your products. So you don't want to always be that brand that always is just on social media saying, hey guys, I have a sale, or hey guys, I have this new product, you should buy it right now. No, you have to make sure that this is engaging, right? You need to make sure that when you're ready to release that new product, or you do have that sale, that you've already drawn in the audience that you're looking for because you've already done that 60 and that 30, right? But I want to also just let you know too, with the 60, 30, 10, sometimes it can adjust based off of the season of your business, right? So if you take a look at what's going on with your business right now, and you're saying, you know what, I'm in the process of having some products, but I actually need to do more of engaging with the audience, then you want to adjust it based off the 60, 30, 10 rule, right? Or if you've already done that 60% where you've been engaging, you've been talking to your target audience, you've been, promoting or helping to, share content from other resources, but now it's like, I'm not selling enough. That's where you flip it. Does it need to go to 60% now? And maybe you then need to decrease the amount of the educated stuff that you do, because you've already done that enough. So now it's like, okay, you have already educated me as a consumer to come to your business. Now what's next? Okay, now you have a product. Maybe that product needs to be in that 60% bucket. So again, it sometimes will do kind of an ebbs and flows, and kind of goes depending on the season of your business. So just keep that in mind. And if you have any questions about that, definitely let me know. So I wanted to go back really quick because I think this is very important. So I apologize that my screen went ahead. Having a brand strategy. This is so important. So how many people, let's go to the chat right now. How many people have a logo? How many people currently have a logo? If you can, by show of raising hands or just say yes, if you have a logo. Trying to see if I see a couple people. Okay, Chester, I see you said that. So Chester, what's your business? If you don't mind me asking, if you could put that in the chat for me. And Esther, you said, no, you don't have one. Great, we're gonna talk about this. Daylin, okay, perfect. You're in IT, okay, perfect. Yes, okay. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying, yes, they do have a logo. Perfect. This is definitely the first step in making sure that you are connecting your social media channels to your brand. However, let me ask this question. How many people have a signature font to identify with your brand? That would have been built within your logo. So this is important. So if you ever look at some of the influencers that are on social media and you're like, man, how do they have like 10,000 followers? Or how do they have 20,000 followers? If you scroll through their content on whether it's Instagram or Facebook, you can tell that they have a specific font brand that they use connected to their logos. This is important because it actually helps you to stand out amongst others, amongst your competitors, as well as makes your page look clean as well. So you want to make sure that you're looking into that. If you haven't built your brand toolbox yet, this is something you want to explore. One of the other things I do want to mention too, although you have a logo, you should have your standard logo, so your first one, but then you're also your second logo as well. So for example, Convey Social, I have my logo, it says Convey Social on it, but then I also have a C that identifies with my logo brand as well. So I can interchange those two. You want to make, that's important because sometimes depending on the pictures, you don't want to always just slap your main logo onto some of your photos and things like that. You might want to put like a small secondary logo to that. And that's where that is still that identifier for your brand. And it's very important. So I would always suggest if you already have a logo, but you're thinking about, maybe I need that secondary logo, go back to the graphic designer or someone who created it and have them take a look at that, explore that with you. If you don't have a logo yet, then this is a great time to make sure that you have both your primary logo and your secondary logo, and then your font as well. You want to also make sure you have your family of brand colors. This is important as well. If you take a look at the picture on your screen, you will see that there is a brand logos, family of colors, excuse me. With those colors, those are your primary logos, your soft colors, and your primary colors. These are colors that can be interchanged within each other, but it helps to identify your brand. This is really important. I want to know how many people do have brand colors. Do you know your brand colors? And are you using those currently right now on social media? Cool. Okay, so I see William Nixon has brand colors. Yes, brand colors are so important. This is something that will help you also with when you are trying to put together your social media accounts, making sure that you have an aesthetic to it. You want to make sure that it looks clean, it looks consistent, and it goes along the lines with your brand as well. This is also very important for your website too, and any marketing collaterals that you create as well. So you want to make sure that you have those things all in place as well. And you said you do have your brand colors, just have not figured out how to incorporate with social media. We will talk about that. So stay tuned for that. The one thing I will say too with having the brand strategy is if you need some inspiration, Pinterest is amazing for this. You can create a private board on Pinterest that you can just search within Pinterest, brand strategy, brand colors, brand marketing, and that will come up with a lot of inspiration for you. Yes, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, but do this. If you take an hour or so out and you go on Pinterest and you're like, I need to start really making sure that I have my branding together. Go in there and start pinning things. Just pin them and just start thinking about that will help you to start bringing some inspiration in there to make sure that you have your brand aligned together. It's really important, but I definitely think that you should definitely look into Pinterest to be able to do that. I see a question on logo. Is a graphic designer the best route to create them? Are there any other options? There are options. So you could do it through what we call Canva, Adobe Spark, which I'll talk about later, or some other resources as well. Those are great resources if you are knowledgeable of making brand a logo. However, I would strongly suggest that you do talk to or consult with a graphic designer or someone like myself that would be able to help guide you through that process, because it's so important. You don't want to make a logo and then you say, you know what, I don't like it, scratch it, let's remake another one so soon, right? It will confuse your audience. It will not be able to attach your brand to your products. So you want to be very careful with that. You just want to keep in mind that sometimes utilizing a graphic designer and actually investing in your logo and your brand toolbox is really critical and really important to the success of your business. So that's a great question, but yes, and definitely keep those questions going. All right, we talked about content is key. So let's talk about these 6 keywords to include in your post. This is so important. A lot of people miss this step, and this is so great. These are power words for your marketing, and I promise you, I have investigated these words. These words are great. You will definitely want to, and I'm not saying you use them in every single post, but definitely highly consider using these in majority of your posts. So you is about your customer. It is about that potential customer that you're trying to reach. Make it all about them. You want to make sure that you are directing your message directly to them. You are the person that should buy this product, or you should do this. You want to make sure that you are talking directly to them. Also, I know this is something that everyone hates normally, but free. So I'm not saying you have to offer all your products for free, or you have to offer some of your big products for free. You can even offer something very small that is a freebie that will be able to help someone to say, oh, I got this from this company. It's a great tool to also market and promote your business as well. Think of something that you could be able to provide to your clients. You can definitely use that. Even if it's something very small, even if it's something very small as just like something that can go along in the product. So if they purchase the product, maybe you add an additional small freebie for them. That will go a long way. And they will actually promote that and say, hey, I got this great product from so-and-so. You should, contact them, or you should buy this as well. So keep that in mind. Secret, that word, everyone loves a tip or a trick. Make sure you want to draw them in. Like, hey, I have a secret. If you want to know that, if you want to know how to be successful in A, this is how you do it. People use those keywords. Think about these keywords. Limited time. So I know we all have probably watched commercials. We have been in the mall, we've been in stores, or even, shopping online, and we've seen limited time, and it makes people react with a sense of urgency. This is a key word to use when you're doing selling your products. So think about that. Limited time, even though you know that you probably have a quantity, a good amount of quantity of your product. If you start saying limited time and you take that product out for a little bit, see what happens if people start to ask about it a little more. Hey, where did that product go? Or hey, can we still get this product? That makes people shop with urgency. So think about that. Don't miss. This also capitalizes on fear of missing out as well. So this is really important as well to be able to use some of these keywords. Does anybody use any of these keywords right now in any of their messages? And Al, I see you said freebies work, it helps. Yes, absolutely. And I know you've done a few things as well to help increase your presence on social media. Don't miss out. Yes, definitely. Have you seen have you seen any increase in that as well? I see that a couple people. Gotcha. Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about being consistent. So stay tuned for that as well. And I think a couple, Janine, do you see anybody has their hand raised? I think they said a couple people has their hand raised, maybe.
I think the hand raises was from the earlier question. I
Okay.
do want to go back to the chat. There was a question that came up, but I'm not sure if we addressed it. Which
Okay.
was...
Yes, I apologize. Keep me on track, please.
Okay, a question is, do you have to sign up with your name or can it just be under your business? And I think this had to do with your brand logo, the look and feel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We are actually going to talk about that too, but yes, I always highly suggest that you separate the two, that you have your personal social media for whenever you want to be on social media on your personal time, but then you have your business brand one, and you have that separated from your personal. And the reason why I suggest that, and not to say that you can't intertwine the two at times, because you can, and I think that's very important. But I do think that your business should stand on its own. It should have its own brand and identity outside of you personally. But however, you know, with myself, for example, with Convey Social, I have on my Instagram that I am the CEO of Convey Social, and I put the handle in my bio on Instagram so that people can connect it to, can go to Convey Social and follow it. So I do think that it is important, but I want to really strongly emphasize that you should highly consider, especially if you have products and services, that you have your social media separate, that you have your personal and your professional. Was there any other questions, Janine, that you see?
No, you are cooking with gas, girl. Keep going.
No problem, no problem. So I want to go to the next one. So hashtags, let's talk about hashtags. Who loves hashtags? I love hashtags, and hopefully you guys do too. I want to share some key tips on how to use hashtags. So with hashtags, you definitely want to select a mix of hashtags. And what does that mean? So you want to take a look. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of research, right? And when you do that research on social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, look at the hashtag that you're interested in, right? So so I will give a story. So I actually developed Columbus is Fashion. I don't know if anybody has ever seen that hashtag, but it is a big hashtag. I did this for a client. Actually, my client was Fashion Week Columbus. When I was handling all of their social media, we wanted to create a hashtag that would, one, bring a call to action, but then two, also brought to the broader community all about fashion in Columbus, Ohio. And so now if you look at the hashtag Columbus is Fashion, it has taken off. There's so many influencers that use it. There's so many people, just, you know, students who are at CCAD or anyone. There's a lot of people that use that hashtag. And so it's been great that Fashion Week Columbus has been able to adopt, you know, be able to create that and create this community. So with that, I do strongly suggest that you do use your own, that you do start your own hashtag. However, do some research on some other hashtags that will be able to bring you to the broader community. So if you want to use one that's as seen in Columbus, that's another one that I use a lot. I think that that's one that's really great, and I actually follow it, which I highly suggest that you follow hashtags as well. But that one has a huge reach. And so I know that even though I tag a lot of my content into, as seen in Columbus, I also know that I need one that's kind of in the middle, right? So I need a hashtag that's also not hugely broad because you want to also make sure that it's one that is not going to get your content caught up in the mix, and then no one's not going to be able to see it. Because you want to make sure that when you're using these hashtags, that people are actually able to look through the hashtag, see your posts, go to your page, and start following you. So you want to have a mixture. You want to have a small hashtag that has maybe about up to maybe 500 to about 5,000. Then you want to use a medium-sized one that's like 5,000 to about up to about 15, 20,000. And then you want to use something that's above that. So kind of look at the mixture of your hashtags that you're using. It's really important. Then track your hashtags. So you can do this in a number of ways. You can do it through a scheduling app if you do your content creation. If you don't have time to do social media every single day, you can actually use like a scheduler such as like Hootsuite or many others, and you can be able to track those hashtags through those schedulers as well. Or you can also go through Instagram. It actually has its own way that you can track hashtags as well. You could be able to look through there, and especially Facebook. Facebook has a really good reporting process that they've done for a long time, ever since the beginning. And so you can definitely track your hashtags through there as well. This is really great because if you're finding that you're not getting any traction through that particular hashtag, it's okay. Maybe come back to that later, but go to a different hashtag and see if that maybe works for you. So you definitely want to do some research and kind of really do some deep dive into this area. And then research the best hashtags to use. So my favorite tool to use, and I hope you download it, it's called Later. That's all it's called, L-A-T-E-R, Later. So Later, actually, you can put in a hashtag in there that you're intrigued about, and it will tell you like all the information that you need for that hashtag. And that will help you to be able to definitely say, okay, you know what, this might be a great hashtag for this content that I'm doing. Maybe it's that bucket of sales. Or you're like, you know, I want to have a separate hashtag that is for just educating and when I'm giving out good tips. Okay, great. So you have a couple hashtags that you have mixed up in there. Or you're like, you know, I want to have just a general hashtag that I use that educates about my brand or just gets me in the mix with like-minded individuals of my business. So I want to, you know, be able to take that deeper dive into connecting with other people. And so that Later can be able to help you with that. So if you use it and you come back to the second part of this on September 17th, let me know how it has went, because you have a couple weeks to be able to try it out. And then check out what your favorite pages are doing. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, these are great opportunities to be able to just admire it. Although you're admiring those pages, you can also take a couple of good tips from them as well. So take a look at some of the pages that you like, see what type of hashtags that they're using. The one thing that I do want to make sure that you keep in mind too is you may see sometimes when influencers or even businesses, and not a lot of times businesses, but like small businesses, they will post their content and then they will do a second post under that same post and will post all of their hashtags. That sometimes actually hinders your post. You actually want to connect your hashtags to the original post that you have and not connect a second one. The reason being is because it's the algorithm and the way that it picks up things. It may not, actually all the hashtags may not be picking up all your content. So you want to make sure when you make that initial first post on your page or any of your social media channels and you're using hashtags, make sure when you do a period, you put those hashtags right after it. Don't press send and then put it out there and then put your hashtags in the second line. That sometimes does not work. And that is a trick that a lot of people feel that works, but sometimes it doesn't. So just watch out for that. So I just want to reiterate again about increasing your reach. I hope that these last couple of slides have been helpful for you. Please tell me in the chat box if those have been good, if you've been writing down a few things. But I just want to make sure that you also know these things as well. Get creative with repurposing your content. Everyone always thinks you have to spend all this time being able to put out new content, new content, new content. But guess what? If you take a look at some of the content that you've done and you see that it's giving you a lot of good reach, who said that you couldn't reshare it? Who said that that was a law that you cannot repurpose your content? You can repurpose it. You can actually, if you wanted to take out a few words, or if you just wanted to switch it up, you can do that as well. I do that a lot. I do that with a lot of my clients, especially if I'm starting to find that they're getting an increase in likes or views, especially on Facebook. I will repurpose content on all 3 channels, or even on other channels as well. So if you have some content that worked really well on Facebook and you're like, you know what, I want to experiment and see if this actually works on Instagram, do it. No one said you couldn't do that. So think about that. And that actually saves you a lot of time. Make sure that you also stay authentic as possible. Be you. This is why people love you and want to purchase your products. Be authentic to yourself. No one said that this is a competition that you have to be like someone else. So make sure that you are being authentic to your brand, what you stand by, and what you believe, because ultimately, that is what got you into the position that you're in. And then also reply to DMs and comments. And DMs mean direct messages. So a lot of people do not do this all the time. And if you've ever looked at some businesses and someone has said, hey, I haven't received my product yet, where is it? Or, hey, I don't understand, I didn't get this, or they may have asked you a question and it went unnoticed. That can also damage your brand as well. Make sure you reply to those comments and DMs, even though you're like, ooh, that was a mistake I made. And you know what? I am so sorry. It's okay. At least it's a way for you that you acknowledge that there was a situation that occurred, but you actually rectified it. So that actually helps you really good. So make sure you reply to those direct messages and comments. And then, like I mentioned earlier, is having your business pages separate from your personal, making sure that you definitely have those 2 separated. Again, like I mentioned, you can intertwine the 2. It's okay in terms of you cross promoting on your personal page, cool. But make sure that you actually I really strongly suggest you highly consider separating the 2. And then engage with your audience 30 minutes before your post. So you don't want to always be that business that's just always saying, hey, I have this product, go buy it now. Or, hey, we have this sale, go to our website now. You want to engage with your audience. See what they're doing. If they're, if you take a look at some of the followers that you have and they're doing something out in the community, comment. Hey, good job, or, great, or I love that, or I see you, or something. Just making sure that you are engaging with your clients, with your followers. And then that actually helps, because when you're ready to make that post for them to sell something, they're actually paying attention because they saw that you took the time to comment on their pages. So keep that in mind. That is definitely a key. And I see the chat is blowing up a little bit, so let's see.
Yes, you definitely have some questions on this topic, increasing your reach. So you take the first one there to decide which social media to use. Are there analytics to use or some place to recommend where to research?
Sure. So with the analytics, that's a good question. So myself, my business, we purchased a software that we actually use to be able to kind of go behind the scenes to take a look, to do a deeper dive into analytics. But on a surface level, I would highly suggest really considering using Facebook's analytics if you are on Facebook. I would say that with their analytics, they are on point with letting you know in terms of your audience, where your reach is going, kind of the areas. So if you have specific reach that you're trying to do, especially if you're doing any type of Facebook ads or any type of paid ads on social media, definitely taking a look at that analytics will be very helpful and very key. But yes, Facebook does a really awesome job with that. But I also think too, some of the content schedulers, such as like I was mentioning, Hootsuite is really good as well. well. They have a really good analytics tool built inside of it that will help you to know in terms of when is a great time to post. Also, you know, how are you reaching people? And also, you know, who's engaging with you, whether that be male or female. I mean, it definitely will tell you some things about it as well.
You're the bomb, Currecia. You just like covered two questions in one answer. I love that. Because someone, if there was a service you could use to manage all the content across the various platforms. So that's awesome. Another is, and this is one that's very curious, is an automatic reply bad? And if it is, why?
So automatic replies, I have used this a couple times with clients in terms of just making sure that you immediately tell them, hey, thanks for reaching out. Someone will be with you shortly, or someone will reply to you within 24 to 48 hours. That's great, but that does not take away from you responding back. Because if they had a question or they're looking for a particular product, you want to make sure you're directing them in the right, into the right direction. Automatic replies I do use, but I don't replace it from still engaging with that person. So I would say still use the automatic reply, but also still take that moment to also go in there and do a actual official reply to that person as well.
I think that's really great feedback. It's almost like someone's knocked on the door of your business and you're not, they will go somewhere else, right?
Exactly, exactly. And I also wanted to mention too, back to the social media, like the content platforms, Buffer is a really great one as well. I know sometimes with trying to juggle social media and marketing and your brand, you know, you may have a small budget to be able to do that. Buffer is a really good one as well. And Buffer also has those analytic tools built inside of it too. I actually currently am using that right now for some of my clients too. So Buffer's a really good one. So the scheduling apps were Hootsuite that I recommend, and then Buffer, Buffer. Buffer is a really good one. Another one that I also would suggest, those are the two. If there's some other ones, I'll definitely, actually, you know what? At the September 17th one, we can take a deeper dive into content schedulers. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the chat. Go ahead and post that if you want to see that on the September 17th one. Hootsuite is good too. That is a good one as well. But if you want to learn a little more about how to use those tools, September 17th, let me know if you want to see that on September 17th. Some of them can be free depending on how many posts. So it will give you kind of it'll give you a limit of how many posts you can do under a free account, which is okay. So yeah, so you could definitely still use the free options. Sometimes they do have a smaller, you know, amount that they will charge. But I definitely recommend, if you don't have the time to be able to do social media on a regular basis and be able to make sure you get those posts every single day, using a scheduler will be definitely helpful to you. So, all right. So the other things that I wanted to mention too, some other key things for increasing your reach, join engagement groups. So I don't know if those who are in Columbus, if you have joined that Columbus Black page on Facebook. It has, I think, over like 60 or 70,000 followers. These are pages that you want to be a part of. You want to be able to be a part of the conversations. Making sure that you're engaging in other groups will help you to not be just in your own bubble, but it also helps you too to be able to hear and kind of take a pulse of what people are wanting, or what people want to see and what they're wanting to hear. That will be able to help you in building your content as well. And then, like I was mentioning with the scheduler, post at least once a day. This is so important. The way that the algorithm works with social media, in which we will probably cover that September 17th too, but the way that the algorithm works, you have to make sure you post once a day in order to get your post seen, in order to get up into that algorithm as well. So this is definitely very important. And so that's why I really highly strongly suggest you doing a scheduling tool as well. And then like we were mentioning, look at your insights and posts during peak times. So when you are in that scheduler, so if you're using Hootsuite or Buffer or any other ones, and you are wanting to see like, when is a perfect time for me to post about my business? It will actually help to show you that. Now, it might not be on the free one. It might be on some of the smaller paid ones, but it's so important and it's very helpful because it will help you to get your content further into to the reaching of who your target audience. And then connect with influencers. So this is something that I really suggest, is that you definitely, if you start to see that there is, for example, a mom. So say, for example, you have a product where it's for children or families. And we all know women are the #1 people to sell to, because we are the ones that are always looking at, making the decisions in a household. So if you see a mom who has children, who's a stay-at-home mom, and you have a product that could relate to her and help her solve some issues, then you should connect with her and say, hey, I would like for you to try my product. Or if you have a pet company, right, and you have something where you do grooming, and you see a lot of times now, some influencers will create pages for their animals, for their dogs, for their cats. And you're like, you know what? I want to see if that person will use my product. Contact them. You will be surprised. They will actually say yes. And in return, they will actually help to get you the business that you're looking for. So influencers are really great, and they're very key in helping you with your business as well. I don't know if we have any, I think I had some stuff in there. Yes, Columbus Black owned businesses. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Yes, yes. That is one of the biggest ones that are happening right now. And it actually has a lot of engagement in there and can definitely help you with, increasing your reach, but also selling your products as well. I've seen a lot of great things happening out of that group. So definitely, if you're not following that group on Facebook or Instagram, definitely follow them as well. Videos. How many people use videos? I love videos. So if we said content is king, video is queen. Video, video, video. I strongly suggest you use video if you are not using it now. Definitely use it. So using video to engage with your audience, you can create behind the scenes videos. So if you're getting together a product, or you're getting together a workshop or a conference that you're creating, or you're doing some tutorials, definitely doing some behind the scenes and telling people, hey, check out what we're working on, go to our website to learn more, or, go to our website to sign up for our email listserv. This is definitely a selling point. So definitely make sure you have the create behind the scenes videos. You can also share education content such as recipes or tutorials as well. So if you are working on a certain product, or you just have some recipe that you're a cook or a chef and you're wanting to show how to create something, definitely doing these videos will be definitely helpful. And then educate your audience about your brand. So definitely making sure that you tell that story. People want to know about you. They want to know about your brand. How did you get to where you are? So if you start doing those compelling videos, definitely this will help you as well. So I'm telling you, video is queen. I tell this to everybody all the time. It works across all channels, whether it's on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or others, definitely. And with the videos too, we know that TikTok is a big one. TikTok also is great to utilize within your videos, within your IG stories, or even on Facebook as well. I also, like I was mentioning earlier, Instagram has the new Reels, definitely using those too. Definitely making sure that you have that included is also a key thing for you. But with that though, secrets to successful video content. Let's talk about this because this is important. Use text overlay or subtitles in your video. So if you've ever been like me and you've been in a store, and my husband always laughs at me because I'm always on my phone. But if you're on there and you're just scrolling, 9 times out of 10, your sound is off. So guess what? They missed the point of your video. make sure you have a text overlay or subtitles, because if I'm just scrolling because I'm in a loud area or I'm at work and I'm, sneaking to be on social media, or, I am out and about and I'm just like, hey, what's going on social media right now? If I could read subtitles, that still is helpful. So make sure you have a text overlay or subtitles as well. And then remember to add links in your video. Where do you want them to go to? Get a call to action. Tell them where to go. If it's a new product that you're releasing, tell them, go to my website, get to there now, go and purchase this product. So that is also. But then here's another trick that actually can be really good. And if you try this, let me know if it works. So on Instagram, you can create a close friends, right? Where you share that you can share videos only to this group of people. So if you have a business account, right? And you want to try this out on your business. So say, for example, you have a client list. Maybe it's a client list of 15 to 20 people, right? And you've already got their social media and you add them to this close friends, right? List on Instagram for videos. When you're ready to release a product or you're ready to make a special announcement, guess what? You should use your close friends first, because they will be the ones that will be able to share the information, and they're the ones that you want to engage with, right? Because they're the ones that have already been investing in your business. So make sure that you create that close friends and start to use that, and tell people too, because you can even go on Instagram and say, hey, we just released a secret announcement to our close friends. Are you our close friend? Add us on Instagram, or do something and then add them to the close friends, and this is kind of will keep people intrigued by you. So keep that in mind. Then lighting is so important. I actually have a light on right now today for this one, although it was a little hazy outside, so I wanted to make sure I had a light. So I have a ring light. I have two ring lights. I have one that is on my computer, and then I have another one that I can attach to my cell phone. Investing in a ring light is so important because you want to get a good quality in your videos. These things can be purchased like at a reasonably priced on Amazon. I actually bought two of them for, I think, under $30. One is like a small one, which let me show you guys. This is the ring light right here. So this is my ring light. So this is something that just clips on to my onto my laptop. I can just add it right there and it gives me that extra light. But I also, here's the trick. So it goes in different light settings. So you can definitely do that, and I highly suggest you invest in a ring light. It definitely brings out that extra lighting that you need on your videos as well. So here's my favorite part, social media tools. I know we're getting down to the end, and I apologize, we're like 1 minute away, so please stick with me. So social media tools, these are just a few of my favorites. So Canva is awesome. I actually made this presentation inside Canva. So Canva has a free version that you can use, but I do the paid version, so for my clients. But definitely using Canva, you can create anything from story images to social media images, as well as any of your marketing collaterals and things like that. So Canva is a really good investment, or even Adobe Spark. So if you have a little bit of experience with Adobe Spark works just like Canva, but it has just a couple more elements to it. And I think it's a pretty cool way to be able to still be able to utilize some of those images posts that you want to use that you don't have time to really create from scratch, but you just need some assistance with. Adobe Spark also helps with that too. So I also wanted to talk about word swag. So I mentioned in the previous slide about making sure that you had an overlay on your videos. Word swag can help with that. It can help with your posts as well. So if this is an app that you can download, so that is actually a good one to use, as well as Later. So Later is my favorite. Again, that is the hashtag one, so make sure you're using Later as well. And then the circle in the middle, it's VSCO, which is actually a way to be able to put filters on your photos. So you can kind of do a little bit of editing without being like this expert in Photoshop or any other tools. You can be able to utilize VSCO to be able to go in there and manipulate what your photo looks like. So you can bring out more of the lighting if you need extra lighting because you were in a darker room, or if you want to take away a couple little blemishes, you can do that as well. So definitely look into that too. And then also Linktree. Let me tell you about Linktree. Linktree, if you don't have it, download it. So Linktree is what you can attach to your Instagram. So if you have products and you want people to go to that, or you have an event coming up and you're always seeing like, man, I keep switching out my address that's in my profile on Instagram. Guess what? Linktree can help you. You can put up to 5 links in one on Linktree. So you can put your web address, your product website, or a product or page to your products. If you have an event coming up, you can put that link in there too. And if you have a blog, you can put that link in there as well. You can put all those links under Linktree. And so basically when you create your post and you say, hey, check out my link in my bio to see more, you can click on the link, they'll click on the Linktree link and it will bring up all of your links. So then you don't have to always change it and then have to go back and change it again. Linktree saves you time. So make sure you download that as well. So this is a surprise. So building your brand part 2 is not only going to be just me, it's going to be some of my nearest and dearest friends who are amazing at what they do. So I will have Marshall Shorts, who will be joining me, and he will be talking about branding. He is a graphic designer extraordinaire. If you don't know him, check out Solo Theory. He is amazing. He will be on to talk about branding. So if you are still kind of contemplating about your current logo or you don't have a logo yet, Marshall is the man. He actually created my logos. He's done a lot of stuff for my clients. So he will be very good at helping with that. Donna Marbury, she is a content queen. She is a content creator that I love dearly. She has done this for big brands such as Smart Columbus and many others. She actually also is a freelance writer for a lot of the national newspapers, but she is amazing at content. She is great at helping you to discover how to reach your audience further through content. So definitely be here for her. And then finally, Jerron Murphy. He is my friend and also my actual photographer for Convey Social. He is going to be here to talk about photography and the best practices in order to do photography for both your phone, on your phone, if you have a camera, how to utilize your camera, just best practices on ways to build your content as well. So again, go to MBAC website and sign up today for part 2. It's going to be amazing. You will be able to have an opportunity to talk to all 3 of them and myself. So we will definitely be able to give you some additional tips that you are looking for. So please, again, September 17th, and share this information as well. Like, it's going to be it's going to be a good time. So I don't know if Kim or Janine or Miss Sharon's going to allow us to go an extra 30 minutes, that day, but it's going to be awesome. So just stay tuned for that. So again, this is it. This is the end. I hope you learned a lot. Can you please let me know in the chat if you learned anything, if you were able to, just be able to get some stuff out of this. I hope so. Keep in touch with me again. My name is Currecia Gamble. You can reach me at Convey Social. You can go on Convey Social on Facebook, on Instagram, Convey Social on Twitter. Definitely keep in touch with me. If you need help or if you are looking for someone to help you kind of do some audits on your social media, reach out. Let's chat. Chat with me. Let's take a look. Let's see what we can do to help you continue to reach your audience that you are looking for and sell those products. So thank you, Ms. Janine. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much.
Best webinar ever. Ever. Did a phenomenal job. And I want everybody to just encourage her, lift her up, give her some positive feedback in the chat. She brought the energy, the information, and just the enthusiasm that we all need in supporting our small businesses. Tree, you blew me away. I have a page of notes. I have so many questions. I'm so ready to do something on social media.
I'm so sorry I went over time. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
No, you're awesome. Hey guys, don't be shy. Reach out to Currecia and make a use of her wisdom, her knowledge, and her energy and passion to just be there for the small businesses in our area and the businesses that we serve. We also ask that you participate in our webinar evaluation that will pop up for you immediately upon exiting this video. So Currecia, you're the bomb.
Thank you.
Tag Currecia the
I
bomb.
was trying to stay secret in the background, but I couldn't help it. I had to come on out. Outstanding, outstanding. Thank you all for coming. And then I guess we'll see everybody in part 2.
Yes, September 17th, don't forget.
September 17th. And again, if you're not registered with MBAC services, please do so you can get all the communication and registration links to sign up for part 2.
Thanks all. You guys.
All righty.
Thank you for
See you
everything.
later.
Have a good one. Bye.